Hello! I'm your Commissioner Willie or Wonty here for Playday number 13 of Grand Slam Galaxy, joined by my co-caster, Silver Lily. Silver Lily, welcome to baseball!
I am glad to be back, Willie, though I have to admit I have been paying very close attention to a very different league lately. Let's go Mariners. Love the Mariners.
Let's go Mariners.
Fuck you, Mets. I stole your quote.
Let's go Mariners. Love the Mariners. Let's go Mariners. Apologies for blowing everyone's ears out. I'm a little bit scatterbrained right now, apparently. But, Silver Lily, while the Mariners get knocked out in the NLCS, let's take a look at the standings to see which teams are at danger of being knocked out today. As a quick reminder for everybody, top 2 teams get a bye in the playoffs, 3 through 6 make it to the playoffs, and 7th and 8th get eliminated. Right now, the Monarchs and the Flowers both sit in those bye positions. The Monarchs have been guaranteed a bye. In order for the Flowers to not get a bye, they would need to lose both their next 2 games, and the Monsters would have to win their next 2 games. The Wilds have qualified for the playoffs. They cannot not make it with a 6-6 record. And the Infernos and Monarchs sit at 5 and 7, with the Scrambled Eggs and Revenge sitting at 3 and 9. One of the Infernos and Monarchs are guaranteed to make playoffs since they play against each other next Playday, and 6 is the magic number to get. Meanwhile, the Scrambled Eggs and the Revenge need to go perfect in order to make it. Only one of them can make it though, and the Scrambled Eggs right now sit with the slightly better run differential. It's coming down to the wire, isn't it, Silver Lily?
That it is, Willie. It really is. And what a heartbreak of an end of a season this is going to be for, I think, a lot of people coming soon. The Revenge and Scrambled Eggs have fought as hard as they could to stay in this season, and they are bringing it right down to the wire. But if they make it in, that means one of the Infernos or the Monarchs has to not. And both of those teams have absolutely been putting in the effort as well. Whatever happens, today will decide something. Actually, technically, it could decide nothing. If the Scrambled Eggs beat the Infernos, the Revenge beat the Flowers, and the Monarchs lose to the Monsters? Is that who they're playing today?
Yes.
Then absolutely none of our teams are eliminated yet.
So, here's our schedule for today, going down the order. First game of today will be the Monarchs versus the Wilds. The Monarchs have already secured their spot in a bye position. The Wilds have already secured their playoff spot and can't make the bye position, so that one's basically for seeding. Our second game of the day will be the Revenge versus the Flowers. If the Flowers win, they are guaranteed a bye position. If the Revenge lose, they are fully eliminated from making the playoffs. Third game of the day, the Monarchs versus the Monsters. If the Monarchs win, they guaranteed playoffs. If the Monsters win, they can keep trying to make a bye if the Flowers have lost. And our last game of today will be the Scrambled Eggs versus the Infernos. The Scrambled Eggs, of course, need to go clean on their last 2 wins in order to have a chance to make the playoffs. And the Infernos need 1 more win in order to guarantee playoff position, but could still make it with their 5-win record. It's not... I can't tell if it's exciting or heartbreaking when I can go down every single game and be like, okay, here's the timeline where this team makes playoffs, or this happens or this happens. Any highlight matchup you want to talk about before we head into today's games?
Well, while the Revenge's boss rush did not start out the best for them, they took a nasty loss to the Rotten Eggs in our previous Playday. They still have a shot at getting in. so keep an eye on them versus the Flowers. They have not managed to beat them yet in the regular season, but the Revenge did manage to best the Flowers back in the preseason, back when the Revenge looked fairly dominant. Things have shifted a lot since then, but they have one last try, and if they can beat them, they can stay in it.
Alright, let's start off today with the one game that, as I take the standings down, with the one game that doesn't technically mean anything. The Rotten Eggs versus the Wilds. The Wilds, with home field advantage, have chosen to take us to DK Jungle at night. So, it is funny to me that the Wilds still very strongly have the possibility of ending the league in third place, but DK can do that to people. We've talked a little bit about how DK can be a bit of a hit or miss start. Definitely hit strong last Playday in the Wilds' win over the Infernos in order to guarantee their playoff position. Meanwhile, for the Rotten Eggs, I think that this team's identity is a little bit weird. I don't even know how to define why the Rotten Eggs are 10-2 right now, especially with very, very tight games against monster teams like the Monsters, and blowout losses to teams like the Scrambled Eggs. It's a hard team to nail down, but I would argue, kind of, that the Rotten Eggs are a small ball team at this point, with Firebro not being the most... I mean, I know that's funny to say, but let's be honest. Firebro can hit. He doesn't really hit home runs as often as hitters like Kalo or Hammerbro. Instead, taking a look across the Rotten Eggs roster, who really gets out? I mean, Yellow Shy Guy gets out. Statler and Thermite are at risk of getting out. They're not the best hitters. All the other hitters in this roster are just really, really good at getting on base, with the threat overlooming of big home run hits from hitters like Salamander and Firebro and everything. But you'll never call them a small ball team, but it's hard to attribute them the grand slam hitting potential of teams like the Flowers. Is that a fair assessment of how the Rotten Eggs have reached the top of the scoreboard, or would you go with something else?
I think calling it just, their offensive power, front to back in their lineup, is definitely what's keeping them competitive at this point. Or to put it in the words of their own coach, some teams are just God's favorites. So...
some teams are just God's favorite. Indeed. Bless it. And then we have the Wilds, which I want to talk about just because the Wilds are a weird team. After trading for Boomerang Bro, they haven't really made any changes to their roster. In fact, Hammer Bro is still marked as a member on their team, which is why I bring it up, I promise. But, I mean, the Wilds show as a squad just how strong the Monkey Core is, with every Kong on the team besides Diddy, of course, who Diddy Kong managed to beat this team twice in the regular season, so shout out Revenge.
There are some that would say the Revenge did exactly what they set out to do regardless of playoffs this season. Some.
I mean, you gotta look at the Wilds, and you gotta say at this point that they're just a team that represent how strong the Kong family is in Grand Slam Galaxy or Mario Super Sluggers as a whole. It's hard not to make a playoffs. It's hard not to make a top 4 appearance if you bet on the Kongs. The question is, for this season, for the showdown, whether or not they have the ability to go all the way, or whether they will be stopped short in the playoffs like the Musicians were last season. Any analysis of these two teams before we head into it, Silver Lily?
I was just gonna bring that up, Willie. The Kongs are perennial contenders and never the champions. They got second in the Winter CPU Classic, the Musicians went out in the first round of the playoffs against the Flowers at the time, who were a surprise turnaround of a team. And now they are looking to hopefully secure a third seed, which doesn't even give them a bye. It's really just for bragging rights at this point, because there's no way, almost no way, they make the top 2. I think there is no way they make the top 2. So, wishing you luck. As your former commentator, wishing you luck, Wilds. Donkey Kong, you have not managed to do it yet. You are probably the least consistent of the consistent sluggers. Show us what you got, King.
Show us what you got, King. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start off Playday number 13 as the Ron Eggs head to Wild's territory and we head to DK Jungle at night.
At night.
Oh boy. I mean, I'm curious to see this. Taking a look at it, I want to look at the sort of playoff bracket that we have. The Kongs actually have something interesting to play for. The 4th and 5th seed in our playoffs, the winner of that will go up against the 1st seed. If trends continue, that 1st seed is very likely to be the Ron Eggs. So we end up in a weird contradiction here, where if the Wilds beat the Ron Eggs, they have a very good chance of dodging the Ron Eggs up until the finals, as Salamander hits a great triple off a barrel-assisted hit, knocking out Dixie Kong in center field. Jesus, okay. Let me talk about the playoffs.
Is a big if, Willie. That is a big if, but it would be a funny circumstance to go, okay, we beat you in the regular season, see you in the finals.
If that happens, but Thermite hits a big shot out to center right field. A shell disables Dixie Kong, though it's not for much, with Gory Shy Guy cleaning that up. And the Ronix come out swinging, utilizing DK Jungle at night a little bit in order to secure an early run.
The home field is not so friendly to the home team, even though it is literally their home. This is DK Jungle for the Wilds, who are the home team in this case. Not quite working in their favor just yet. DK's gonna have to have a talk with whoever's responsible for the various stage hazards about whether or not they're going off at the right times after this inning. A quick single from Firebro, you don't see that a lot. Known to have, like, excellent slugger, Firebro, has slapping power on par with some of the worst in the league, so it's surprising to see him make base in that way.
Well, we'll see what Captain Berto is able to do. 2 on, 2 outs against her team. They've secured a run for the inning, but can they put on damage? It's not like 1 run is worth that much in Grand Slam Galaxy. Big shot down the baseline, and it stays fair. That means at least Thermite will be reaching home, and he does. So the Ron Eggs strike early. 2 runs in the first inning at least, with runners on the corners.
Beautiful line drive, just barely touched the ground before curving out. That is such a rough ball to have to try and field. Tato did her best, but I don't know if there was an outfielder in the game who could have cut off, oh, jeez, who came in there? Berto. No. Berto hit it.
Thermite.
Who ran home? Thermite. Who could have cut off Thermite at home.
No.
Yellow Shy Guy slapping it out to Gray Shy Guy to end the inning. Or at least the half inning. And it will now be Tato leading us off for the Wilds. Going for a strong hit to left field, but maybe a little bit too strong. It pops high and gives Yellow Toad plenty of time to get under it.
I mean, we might see these 2 opposing teams different ways of making a run here. If Funky Kong's ball can hit the ground, and it will successfully, Yellow Toad's just not able to get under that one. Well, the Ronix
very close thing.
Yeah, the Ronix took 6 batters in order to bring in 2 runs, whereas the Wilds only need 3. DK with a giant hit out to left field. It's way too high for anyone to pick it up. It drives in Funky Kong.
That one.
And that's a quick way to tie this game.
It is a very quick game, and that is why DK and Funky back-to-back is such a scary prospect for any team having to face it down. You basically have to try and strike both of them out, or that is 1 to 2 runs.
Baby DK remains one of the most surprisingly consistent batters as an earthquake
DK
locks
has
the
had that,
field and stuns Statler. Well, just like that, I guess DK won't have time of talking to anybody because it's an earthquake that disables the center fielder and lets Baby DK get a triple in this situation.
Well, the barrel came in too.
The barrel technically
looks like that's going to be clean out. Baby DK is going to try and run home. Gray Shy Guy tries to head it off, but does not have the throwing power from the outfield to stop that. And now the Wilds are up 3 to 2.
Well, there you go.
2 to 3.
We have a bit of a statement for how this is probably going to go. Straight off the bat, the Wilds, early section of their batting course, striking ferociously hard, and Boomerang Bro doing their job to get back on base and keep the pressure up. Well, we'll have to see whether DK can keep up that offense as this game goes on, because as we see, when DK has a good day, almost no team in the league can stand up to him, but Gray Shy Guy hits it straight to center field. Statler and Yellowtoad do get under it, but boy, that was scary for any...
I wonder if they were going to go for it for a moment, because it looked like it was a little ambiguous. It might have dropped in, but that ambiguousness might have made them make that decision to go for the buddy jump, just guarantee the catch and end of the inning there. It's always interesting to see how the outfielders are going to play in scenarios like that. By the way, looking at the official broadcast, you have a little bit of extra information up under your webcam.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to go ahead and download this VOD anyway.
Wario looking to repeat the performance and repeats it almost exactly, a little left to center that time, and it's a couple monkeys that go to catch it instead. But, well, one monkey specifically. What primate do you think Tiny Kong is supposed to be?
Kong. That's the best we're gonna get, buddy. Sattler's hit to right field does secure a single, and we return back to the top of the batting order for the Ron Eggs. YP faces down Reggie, but, well, the Pianta isn't able to escape the infield, knocking it right to shortstop for a quick double play that ends the inning and ends any scoring opportunity for the Ron Eggs. They're gonna have to sit on this 2-3 scoreline.
An uncharacteristic, I'd say, uncharacteristic grounder for the Pianta there. YP and other Piantas tend to pop out if they're gonna get out on a fielding play. So it is interesting to see a ground out there. Good, strong charge hit from Dixie Kong is going to be an unassisted double, just a pure double. The shell didn't hit anybody. You don't see that from her a lot, but when she is able to get those good hits, she has the speed to pick up some bases where other players might not. And now Tiny Kong is going to be putting on the offense as well, and a little bit of miscommunication in the outfield is going to turn that single into an easy double for her, as Dixie Kong runs all the way home. A 2-run lead now for the Wilds with no outs on the inning.
Not something you see often, a Dixie to Tiny combo ending in 2 doubles and ending with the Wilds getting a 2-run lead. Cleaned up as Tato hits it right to Berto, who passes it to second base player Firebro for a double play. But the Ron Eggs are still in a very dangerous position. It was Funky Kong to Donkey Kong that turned 2 runs last inning. This one looks like it's going to stay in.
With a bomb coming in, it's unlikely that that's going to be the case this time. Starting off with DK in the next inning is probably the best you can hope for. That's just 1 run of damage. Almost guaranteed. Not guaranteed because DK sometimes likes to hit a grounder instead.
We never really know with him, do we? Salamander wants to fire off early, but this deep hit should be caught by the outfield of the Wilds. Dixie is there with Tato's help, and no luck there. You really have to shoot a laser beam in order to escape the Wilds outfield. Very fast fielders, not great, not the strongest throwing arms back in if you manage to hit it to the outfield, but their speed means that any home run attempts will go, well, hard to escape. The drums are beating, and we can look for an earthquake if this hits the outfield, but no, Boomerang Bro says not a possibility in the first base, and snags that slap from Thermite.
It is up to Firebro now to try and make something happen on this inning. A good charge hit from this star slugger could easily escape the outfield, but it doesn't look like he found what he wanted, and a slap does go his way, curving over the head of Gray Shy Guy at second base and landing before it reaches the outfield. It's good enough for a single, but the team now has to put in a little more work if they want Firebro to make it home.
Yellow Toad slap does at least get another single, and, well, Berto hit an excellent shot in the first inning to bring in 1 run. Can she start to bring in a couple more? She'll have to aim well with a runner on first, runner on second, 2 outs, very similar to her at-bat in the first inning, and she repeats her performance. This time, Firebro is running home. Might get caught out. No, bad chemistry. Just means that Firebro makes it home not even on a close play, but I think that was just a good enough hit that Firebro was just fast enough to make it regardless.
You always have to watch out if you're a team manager or just a fan of these teams for those bad chemistry throws. Having bad chemistry between a catcher and an infielder, between your catcher and an infielder, can be disastrous for your team. As we see here, the bad chemistry between Gray Shy Guy and Baby DK makes it so that Firebro is able to run home perfectly safe. They are able to limit the damage to 1. Now Donkey Kong is up, seeing if he can't even out what Firebro was able to accomplish that last inning. Statler and Yellow Shy Guy are in place in the outfield, but they're not even gonna try. Donkey Kong, 2 up, 2 out of the park.
Well, the Wilds will only be 2 up as a result of that. It's 3-5 now. And if there's one thing that Donkey Kong is succeeding at doing, it's tiring out the starting pitcher of Thermite very quickly. So we'll have to see what happens. Baby DK remains probably one of the best slap hitters in the league at this point, and an earthquake stuns out Statler. A shell just does a little bit of extra damage, and that is a double for the young 8. I do find some beautiful poetry between DK being one of the best home run hitters in the league and Baby DK being one of the best slappers in the league right now.
It does seem appropriate. You start with Baby DK, and you get to see where that baby power goes. When he grows up, it goes out of the park.
Well, for now, Boomerang Bro and I believe Reggie were the 2 that got out and stopped the Wilds for now. With 2 outs,
Yes,
Gray Shy Guy.
I seem to be having some technical issues.
Gray Shy Guy will be stopped on a slap, not allowing him to escape to first base, stopping Baby DK from reaching home from third. That means that DK's solo shot bomb is the only run for the Wilds in the 3rd inning, but that puts them back up to a 2-run lead, and that means that they've gone 3 innings and haven't failed to score a run yet. Might be a high-scoring game from the Wilds, and we'll have to watch to see if the Ronings are able to keep pace. Speaking of rhyming, of course.
Those routes are noted. I just want to point this out. Those routes are noted for breaking up a bunch of plays in the outfield, but they actually played into the outfielder's hands here. Because they knew they couldn't reach the roots, they made the jump for the ball, getting Wario out. We have seen many situations where things that go to the roots instead just fall because the outfielders aren't able to get to a position they want to. So smart thinking by Tiny and Dixie, going for the buddy jump to cut Wario off before he even gets close to the ground.
Well, with Wario being caught out on a home run attempt again, Statler being caught out on a slap, and YP getting a slap, the Lon Eggs at least won't go 3 up, 3 down. But it looks like their offense just continues to have struggles to get going. As once again, they're on 2 outs. Salamander's line drive to left field, caught out by Tiny Kong. Means that's the end of the Ron Eggs offense, and It looks to me like the Wilds have all the momentum as we head into the bottom of the 4th. Can they keep up scoring every single inning?
We shall have to see, as they are starting off in one of the weaker sections of their lineup, but at the same time one that was actually able to do a lot of damage in their previous at-bats, Dixie and Tiny Kong. With some boost support here, looks like Dixie's gonna choose to stay at first. She would have had a single anyways without that item. Just an excellent slap hit, good positioning on it by her.
Oh my god.
Tiny Kong
That's
going for
out.
something a little more daring that is just a foul as it bounces off the back wall despite Yellow Toad and Captain Birdo's hustles. They are not able to get Tiny Kong out there, and she turns the next pitch into an easy slap single to right field.
Runner on first, runner on second, and no outs as you get back to the Wilds. Top of the order is dangerous unless Firebro snags out a slap and turns the double play with Birdo. 3 quick outs there, right when you need it. Will shut down the Wilds in the bottom of the 4th for the first time this game. And the Monarchs, they managed to get 3 outs and 3 batters in a rather unorthodox style.
Yeah, yes indeed. You do not see very many triples in any league, let alone this one. Or triples, triple plays. You especially don't see very many triples. But
as we've seen 2 today.
Both of them were field assisted, however. Unassisted triples, let me say. This time, Firebro goes for the charge shot. Is it high enough to stop the defense? It is not. They're able to launch themselves up. Dixie Kong gets a hold of the ball, and Firebro, the starred slugger, is shut down by the Wild's defense.
Man. Sorry, my microphone is just weird sometimes. Regardless, thank you. It's nice to have a co-caster again so I can look at technical issues. As Yellow Toad steps up to the plate, slaps it. That'll be a quick pop fly out, and Thermite will be stranded at third base. I praise the
Birdo
Monarchs.
stepping up now. Captain Birdo is going to have to be the one to do it if the team wants to still have a shot at evening up the scoreline here, but instead a weak grounder over to shortstop, Boomerang Bro, will end the inning, and that is their 3rd scoreless, 2nd in a row for the Rotten Eggs.
I praise the Monarchs' consistency of batting heading into this, and they seem, well, dead set on just proving me wrong, I suppose, as it's the Wilds who are stepping up to the plate, and Funky Kong, who's heading back to the dugout after a weak hit is easily fielded as a ground out by Firebro.
Is it your curse or mine, Willie? Nobody knows. Maybe it's both.
Well, for now, DK versus Wario. This is good
So,
news.
Do you think DK continues his streak? Because I'm going to go ahead and say yes, Willie.
Are you going to allow me to make a bet now?
I think maybe it's a little late for betting.
Well, 3rd at-plate appearance means that DK gets a 3rd home run of this game. And would you look at that, 3-6 score line, and the Wilds might just start to run away with this.
After struggling in last season's postseason, and now the first half of this season, I'd say, we haven't really seen this kind of dominance from Donkey Kong in a little while, but over the last couple of playdays, he's definitely picked it back up. Prepared to put the team on his back once more, and the team might need it given how their current at-bats are going.
Well, better than the the Ron Eggs at least. Reggie's hit will go right to Yellow Shy Guy, so it is DK's home run. That is the single run for his team for the 2nd time so far tonight. We'll see how exactly it goes in the 6th for both these teams, as the Ron Eggs need to find their offensive mojo. Reggie, as a starting pitcher, hasn't even been well made to be tired yet. Yellow Shy Guy's great hit over the left field as Tiny Kong dodges the power block with a well-timed jump to make sure that's not a double. Excellent play from both players leads us to Wario with one runner on first base.
This is the kind of position the Rotten Eggs want to find themselves in, and Wario, having been shut down in his previous home run attempt, is going to stick to small ball today, or at least for this at-bat, as he hits another good single once again out into left field, but you can't escape the glove of Boomerang Bro that easily, and the Rotten Eggs get a triple play dealt to them of their own.
That means that they've gone scoreless for 3 innings so far, and just when it looked like there was a sign of life, cut off by this player, Boomerang Bro. We'll see whether Wario's anger means much on the mound as he tries an outside slider. Boomerang Bro makes good contact with that one though, and a little bit of root interference won't mean much. It's still a single.
Gotta be on the lookout for when these players start dipping into the star power like that. Word on the street is that starts to tire them out as well. So the more of these you see Wario throw, the less time you might see him on the mound. Works out in his favor there, with Gray Shy Guy finding the trick ball but sending it right over to Yellow Toad in left field.
Dixie Kong stepping up, and the Rotten Eggs really want a bad offensive hit here, and they find one. Dixie Kong's hit to left field, caught out as it was too much along the baseline. Third baseman Thermite jumps up, makes the double play, and the Wilds are quieted in the bottom of the 6th, while the Rotten Eggs go back to the top of their batting order.
And it'll be on the top of the batting order to try and make something happen. A weak grounder by YP is able to escape the second baseman. I'm surprised we did not see Gray Shy Guy make a dive for that. Maybe didn't realize it was going to hop like that, was going to have the speed it had. Either way, YP is able to make it to base off of what honestly should have been an out. Salamander not able to find similar success. A high hit will just draw the attention of outfielders once more, Tiny Kong and Dixie Kong. It's Tiny Kong that makes the catch this time. Now it's 1 on, 1 out for the Rotten Eggs.
Thermite to Firebro. We haven't seen much from Firebro yet, but if Thermite can get on base, well, it's technically possible for the Rotten Eggs to tie this game up quickly. Not even going to get that, though, as he simply hits a weak shot to shortstop. The double play happens, and the Rotten Eggs have gone 4 innings now without getting a single score. They've only gotten 1 in the past 6, and their time to try to tie this game up is quickly shrinking, as the Wild's defense is proving too suffocating for them.
Which, that goes to show the volatility of not only the Wilds, but the Rotten Eggs, as you've talked about. Before we went into this game, Willie, they've been a very dominant team, while also giving up losses, seemingly at random. It seems like we've got the Rotten Eggs that have lost twice already this game, Willie. Not the ones that have won, what, 10?
10 games. Funky Kong. Oh, guys, it's a pillar shot. Yep!
It's a pillar shot, everybody!
So that's 1 home run from Funky Kong, meaning that we will see DK. Doesn't matter if it goes foul, as long as it hits that pillar. And it.
All right, Willie,
oh my god!
Now's the time. Does DK go 4 for 4? And if yes, what corner of the field? What part of the outfield does it go over?
Left field home run.
Okay.
It's a safe bet, but it's the bet that I'm going with.
I'm gonna go down the center.
Well, you're more right than I am.
Wrong, Willie. It's not a home run at all. He is 4 for 4, but not on home runs. Eking out a single with that line drive that does not manage to escape the outfield, hits the back wall and bounces back in.
That was really, really close, though. That was really close. Baby DK's shot will escape to left field, putting, well, Kong's on first and second with 2 outs. Leggy is the player who could try to bring it home. Funny that at least one Kong will get a home run to guarantee at least 1 for the Wilds this inning. As Reggie's hit goes right to Birdo, she manages to snag that one to end it. But Well, the Lonings have 2 innings left to find any sort of offensive pressure. The starter for the Wilds is still on the mound, and it looks like this game might be all but done and dusted unless they're able to come up huge in the 8th. Firebro isn't. He hits it straight to first baseman DK still, and that's out number 1.
Having your premier slugger hit a grounder like that right up the first base line is not the way to get back into this game, but a hit from Yellow Toad that goes up the center and has to be fielded by Dixie Kong, and allowing him to get to first may be the way to do it. Birdo going for a high shot. It looks like it's going to fall into the roots, but Dixie and Tiny once more are not going to take that chance.
These big home run attempts from the Lonings, valiant but continuing to fall short as the outfield from the Wilds proves time and time again that that is not the way to play on DK Jungle. Yellow Shy Guy steps up, 2 outs, run on first, but a slap will reach the outfield and at least bring up Wario with 2 runners on.
Boo is used but does not make the ball escape Tiny's notice. She had it locked on there. Wario up, 2 yellow friends on. Don't think he has synergy with either of them.
Oh, and Dixie Kong just gets under that pop to center field, denies loaded bases, and denies the Lonings any runs in the 8th.
They've been held scoreless for 5 now, Willie.
Oh, it's looking pretty locked up here, as the Wilds just need to secure one more good defensive inning to send the Lonings out of this one and secure themselves a win. We'll see if they
first they get to see if they can get themselves a little more insurance. A long shot by Boomerang Bro escapes Yellow Shy Guy's grasp in the outfield. The buddy jump is not enough, and Boomerang Bro putting his mark on the home run table for the season. The bro you least expect to make one out of the park still can do it if he puts his mind to it.
That's karma. That's Boomerang Bro saying, oh, Commissioner Willie keeps dissing my plays? Hold my boomerang. Actually, wait, I need that bat. Give me back my boomerang.
Don't worry, Boomerang Bro, it's coming back to you anyway.
Dixie Kong steps up now for the Wilds, facing down Captain Birdo, pitch number 3. I will remind everybody that... Oh, no.
Some good teamwork there is able to stop the POW block from breaking up the out. Well played by Statler and Shy Guy. They have been trying to put in the work for this Rotten Eggs outfield. I do want to point that out. While it is a 3-8 game right now, Statler and Yellow Shy Guy have been doing some pretty good fielding.
Alright. The Lonings are starting at batter number 9, Statler, before they get back to the top of their order. They haven't shown up yet offensively, but this game isn't technically over. They're down by 5, so it would have to be a masterclass of offense, and it won't start with Statler, who just grounds out to Gray Shy Guy at second base.
It can be so difficult to escape those nearly magnetic gloves of these Shy Guy players. Excellent defensive infield training at wherever the Shy Guy family practices, gotta say. Like, he also doesn't have much luck.
I gotta wonder, have we seen an outfield home run catch from the Lonings today? Maybe once?
Oof, I can't think.
We're gonna have to review the tape as Salamander goes straight to Dixie Kong.
Funky Kongs? Didn't Funky make an attempt?
Well, while we think about that, Salamander just hits it straight to Dixie Kong for out number 3, and the Wilds do a home run derby on home territory in DK Jungle while continuously shutting down all the home run hits from the Lonings and secure a win 3-8 over the Ron Eggs here in Playday number 13.
The Wild Star is rising. We will have to see how they do in the postseason, Willie, because they are making statements here at the end of the regular season, hoping to find their way to third seed, something they still have a shot at after beating the Rotten Eggs in this game.
Yeah, that one didn't even look close, and I gotta listen. I've kind of been a Ron Eggs hater the last couple of Playdays. I've been them for a Ron Eggs hater ever since they've gone back up to first seed in the league. It's been kind of bewildering to me that they managed to make it. And as soon as I make a theory of why maybe their offense is coming up so strong, well, they fall flat on their faces and aren't able to produce anything on DK Jungle. It's a less trotted field for them, to be sure. So maybe a lack of experience coming out. Maybe it's just a bad field for them. Maybe when the Wilds are just gunning on all cylinders. Look at Dixie Kong in the score box getting 70 on fielding after scoring home run hit attempt after home run hit attempt after home run hit attempt. Then the Wilds can be pretty much impossible for teams to handle once they get going. Now, that being said, we have to acknowledge the fact that 8 runs is actually not a high scoring win for the Wilds, but considering it came off the back after so many home run hits after home run hits after home run hits, every run there, aside from... So, all the ones you see on your screen, besides inning number 2, which I will remind you was a Dixie Kong double to a Tiny Kong double to score a run, which should have just told us immediately that the Wilds were winning this game, because come on.
Yeah, if those two can get runs, anyone can.
All 4 of those single-digit runs for the Wilds, the 3rd through the 8th, were home run hits, and they were 3 different players. It was Boomerang Bo, DK, Funky Kong, and DK again.
Yep, 3 players, 4 home runs, 2 of them from DK. DK went 4 for 4 at bat. I need to remind you of that. DK went 4 for 4 at bat, hitting 3 home runs and 1 single.
Well, hey, when DK comes out to play as he has the last 2 Playdays, what are you going to do? He runs rough shot over Junior's Playroom in Playday 12, and he runs rough shot over DK Jungle in Playday number 13. And the Wilds get a very impressive win over the Rotten Eggs. Now, that was our lowest stake game of the Playday. Now we head to a possible elimination game for our second of Playday number 13. We're going to be looking at the Revenge taking on the Flowers. The Flowers, with home field advantage, have chosen to take us to Junior's Playroom. Well, you highlighted this game heading into this Playday about how the Revenge are definitely, I think it's fair to say at this point, a crowd favorite team. Despite going 3-8 so far this season, 2 of those wins over the Wilds that we saw last game. And the Flowers are maybe showing a couple signs of weakness in the last couple Playdays, but if they win this game, then they're still, well, firmly... Hell, if they win this game, they probably will end up as top seed in the league, as the Ron Eggs are only going to sit 2 runs above them in run differential. So, we talked a little bit about the Revenge boss rush at the beginning of this Playday, but we didn't really give context for it. Can you remind the viewers what that boss rush is heading into this Playday?
So, after 2 Playdays ago, we were looking at what the Revenge needed to do in order to make playoffs, and it is still possible for the Revenge to make playoffs, but they needed to score at least 2, they needed to win at least 2 out of 3 of games against the then top 3 seeds, and still current heading into this Playday, top 3 current teams of the Rotten Eggs, current number 1, the Flowers, current number 2, and the Monsters, current number 3. They dropped their game to the Rotten Eggs but they can still make it if they take their games against the Flowers and the Monsters, and either the Monarchs or the Infernos drop both of their remaining games. Now, if you are the Revenge, you are likely rooting for it to be the Monarchs, because your other big competition right now are the Scrambled Eggs, who have a tied record and the same general shot at making the playoffs that you do, but maybe a bit better run differential. And they are playing against the Infernos today. So, you want the Infernos to win that game in order to defeat the Scrambled Eggs' shot at making it to the playoffs, so you only have to worry about the Monarchs and beating their run differential.
Well,
but first you gotta make it through the Flowers.
We've definitely done a lot of theorizing about here's how the Revenge can make the playoffs, here's how the Scrambled Eggs can make the playoffs, here's how the Infernos and the Monarchs can still not make the playoffs. But when it comes right down to it, there's only one variable that matters for these Revenge players today. They have to make it past what could be after this Playday statistically, and in my heart, definitively the best team in the league of these Flowers. Heading over to Junior's Playroom, the Revenge could face, well, some small ball problems on this field of all things, because K-Rool doesn't care what field it is. He can hit a home run wherever he needs to hit it, and arguably that's probably why the Flowers chose to go to Junior's Playroom. When you've got such a star hitter on your lineup, you don't really mind making it more difficult, but, well, you kind of look over at the Revenge's roster and go, I don't know if anyone can keep up with K-Rool in hitting if he shows up today, which has been a problem before for this team. We'll see how it goes for them, of course, heading into the series. The Revenge versus the Flowers. The Revenge need this game in order to stay in playoff contention. The Flowers, with this win, could mark themselves on top of the league. And after a quick look through, any last things I need to hit before we head into this Playday?
I do think if there is any team that could stop K-Rool, it could be the Revenge. Not saying they will, but this is the team that managed to completely shut out every single home run attempt by Donkey Kong in a prior game. This is the team that managed to go 3-0 against the Wilds, if you include the preseason. And the Wilds are also a big home run slugging team. K-Rool hits home runs in a slightly different way from DK, but if there's any team that can do it, it could be the Revenge. Tall order. But then again, this entire game is.
Well, we'll see exactly how it goes. The Revenge on the last lifeline have to dethrone the Flowers as we head over to Junior's Playroom. And I realized something and get curious and open up. Don't mind me.
I believe this is the same field these two last met on when the Revenge were the home team. However, the Revenge have also shuffled around their roster a little bit since then. The Revenge, the premier defensive team in the league, as has been noted before, have taken a bit more of an offensive focus late into the season. Green Dry Bones not having the best of luck there, a rare charge hit from that player. Usually is just a solid slapper with some slugging potential, but this is not the field to be trying to break that out if you're not one of those absolute star sluggers. But also, John Wick and, according to some, Green Magic Koopa are helping to back up the bats of this Revenge squad since about the middle of the season, I'd say. No luck for them so far. John Wick almost looked like he might have had something there, but instead it'll be 3 up, 3 down, 1 hit out, 2 hits in. The Revenge have nothing to show for it in the first inning.
The Flowers, meanwhile, start off with very consistent batters in Daisy, and, well, he used to be Mr. Consistency, but Luigi has definitely had a lot of trouble in the batter's box this season. Daisy, though, caught out by Ollie in the outfield, is a good start as any.
That it is, and now we see Mr. Consistency up at the plate. I just want to say, it was a good catch by Ollie. If that, given like another second, that ball hit the ground and activated the chain shot. So the timing was near perfect. Ollie was exactly where she needed to be. It looks like, yes, with some fancy footwork to avoid the direct hit by the pow block and redirect the ball over to Ollie, Peridot is able to secure the third out, and this very consistent starting of the lineup for the Flowers is also kept completely silent in the first inning. Hammer Bro looking to stake his claim as being the first one to score. It's long, it's high, it's falling in, the ball is fair, it's just a double. Not quite the home run that the Revenge were hoping for, but better than an out, almost certainly.
Oh yeah, no, that low wall bounce is funny. If it wasn't for the babies, the players out in the outfield might have been tall enough to catch that. But Diddy Kong's hit will go straight to second baseman Daisy, and she'll secure the double play to clear the bases against the Revenge, bringing up Brown Critter. We might be seeing a defensive showcase. It all depends on whether or not the Revenge can shut down K-Rule, and whether or not the Flowers will continue successfully, yes, shutting down the Revenge, as Brown Critter again hits it to Daisy, who's responsible for basically all 3 outs that inning for her team.
Everyone other than Hammer Bro just having a lot of trouble finding the right marks for their hits. One of the hardest things to do in baseball is send the ball where you want it to go. Just like Green Critter sent it right to the glove of Ollie. Bomb did not save him there, and now it is K-Rule v Neru. K-Rule, with a line drive, is going to get to first, but that is no home run hit from the King. And I think the Revenge are gonna have to be happy about that.
Baby Luigi's hit goes to right field. Diddy Kong scrambles for it, though, and snags it, so that's at least an out. The one advantage that the Flowers have right now is that they're one batter further into their run order now than the Revenge are. As batter number 7, Red Yoshi, comes up. Will that disparity expand? Pitcher Neru tries something down the middle. It's a slider. Once foul, that means we're going to see pitch number 4 against Red Yoshi. Another slider will be caught correctly this time. And the Flowers continue to march down their batting order. That's good news for them.
And that news for them is Baby Daisy, who's now able to come up because Red Yoshi did not get out on that last at-bat. Baby Daisy charges it up, sends it out to left field. Peridot is there in time, but not in time to catch it. So maybe not in time at all. Bases loaded now with 2 outs for JC.
The daisy chain for the Flowers. Can it come in? Can batter number 9 come in right now? JC smacks it with a star hit to send it to the outfield. Abu will provide the extra, well, problems for the Revenge. 2 runners are brought in. Baby Daisy's caught in the scramble, but she makes it back to third base, and the daisy chain does its job. The Flowers drive in 2 and remain with runners on the corners here in inning number 2.
I just have to feel bad for the Revenge already. A couple of those hits were so close to being outs, well placed by the team. Daisy will be the first or the final out of the inning, so the daisy chain does not continue its dominance all the way through the inning. It is 2 runs now for the Flowers as we head into probably the weakest portion of the Revenge's lineup, but a decent batter to start us off with Nader.
Luigi being arguably one of the best starting pitchers in the league, continues his dominance as Neru's slap is caught out by one of the best shortstops in the league, Critter, diving to make that out. And it's the outfielder's responsibility now. Ali and Peridot back to back.
Ollie charges it up, but watches the ball fly in. It is inside, thus not a strike. However, the slap is immediately fielded by Daisy. I'd say very comparable to her counterpart in the infield, Green Critter, at that second base position. Has very similar length dives.
Well, now Peridot wants to do something and hits one square for the outfield. No item support. And a large field means that Baby Daisy can just get under that and secure the out. So no success for the Revenge in the first three, as they're just going to head back to the top of their lineup entering the fourth. Meanwhile, the Flowers have a chance at redemption for their clutch hitters. Luigi getting on base to start off this inning.
Hitting it up the center is one of the most reliable ways to get on base in this league. Will we see Luigi repeat it? He's actually aiming for the left center field. It's a single, but it allows Luigi to advance all the way to third. Runners on the corners with no outs is a dire situation to be in for the Revenge.
Yeah, any big hit from Critter or K-Rool, and we can expect big deep hits for them, even if caught, will just result in a sac fly, but this one's straight down the middle. It's too powerful. It boops the snoot, and Critter brings in a 3-run homer to put the Flowers up 0-5 versus the Revenge. K-Rool now up. No outs still against this Flowers roster, so plenty of time for K-Rool to pick his shot. Goes deep to right field, and not to be outdone by a subordinate, knocks a home run home for himself. And the Flowers take advantage of the field, take advantage of the hitters, and bring in 6 runs so far this game for this inning.
I'd say if any team could do it, it would be the Revenge, but unfortunately when these shots are placed so perfectly downfield lines, right up the center, right along the first base line, I don't think Superman could have caught that one.
That will chase the starting pitcher of Neru off the mound as Diddy Kong is brought in from right field to try to find his team's way. Baby Luigi did manage to get out, but Red Yoshi comes straight back and hits a single and keeps this Flowers lineup going.
Diddy Kong starting to reach for star power already. You know that the captain is starting to get a little panicked. A bobble by Peridot. Just...
Yep, that
I have to say, Willie.
Strap in, Silver Lily. We got 6 innings left to play.
Seeing the way this game is going already, it feels like Revenge luck is just kicking in once again.
Well, I started this game by saying that the Flowers are my pick right now for best team in the league. If they keep this up, they will be numerically the best team in the league. And the Revenge have a long hill to climb, but it's the top of the fourth. We have a lot of game left to play here, Silver Lily. Green Drybones does want something with a big shot out to left field that will run foul.
On a curve foul.
So, pitch number 3, Green Drybones, I'm so sorry. Are we going to see a walk?
3 balls. Are we going to see a walk?
No.
Not
full count, though, is a rare
full
sight.
Count now.
Oh my god. Not only a full count, but a strikeout after it as Green Drybones thinks that they're going to draw a walk is funny. You got to admit, that's pretty funny. John Wick, though, follows it up with a solid shot up the middle for a single to start off the Revenge's offense, being the first batter not named Hammerbow to touch a sandbag tonight.
It's really only funny if you're not the Revenge right now, Willie. And unfortunately, my heart is going out to them.
We have...
They've still got time to try and make it happen, and an excellent shot from Green Magic Koopa is gonna put runners on the corners. Power Block assistance gives John Wick all the time he needs to get to third. Hammer Bro up now, not carrying the star power this game. That has gone to Diddy Kong.
But the shot goes straight to Luigi on first base, who grabs it and doesn't even have to move as he's already standing on the base to secure the double play and end the Revenge's inning. They will go scoreless through
the base
4.
coaches are going to tell players not to run until you've seen the ball hit the ground.
I don't think that matters because you don't stand on the sandbag. Regardless, Diddy versus Daisy. Daisy's a weak hit that Diddy Kong is able to field off the pitcher's mound, which is another rare sight. Foul number 1.
Has to get through this top of the lineup. Luigi's able to send the hit high and to center. Ollie can't get under it in time, and it is a single. Luigi going for the bunt. I don't think you're supposed to show that you're going for a bunt that early, buddy. Diddy just pitches around him, gets 2 strikes, forces him to try and hit it, but Brown Critter is able to make the dive for the save. Cannot turn it around to first base in time to get Luigi out. There will be no inning-ending double play just yet. Critter stepping up to the plate.
We've already seen one big 3-run homer from Critter so far this evening, but a slap is what he wants this time. Foul block isn't going to mean much for Ollie. In fact, it dooms Luigi. As Brown Critter was out of range of the power blocker, recovered quicker, whichever one I'd have to check the replay. Ollie simply snags the ball, tosses it to Brown Critter, and the item effort from the Flowers backfires and secures the 3rd out for the inning.
Diddy Kong this time placing a good shot to right field. The chain chomp not doing much damage. Spawned right between the right to the right of Red Yoshi, and then went in towards the infield. This is good enough to get Brown Critter. No, Diddy Kong is not able to slide in. It was almost safe off the power block, but with Red Yoshi in position in order to field it, but after it missed Daisy in the infield, Diddy Kong just barely not finding the speed to get to second base in time. Nehru with a good 2-strike hit. Chain Chomp disruption means Brown Critter is going to head to the corner.
Alright, well, we've seen this situation before for the Revenge, but it was Hammer Bro up. Can Ollie do better? Runners on the corners, only 1 out. The outfielder charges, but will watch the outside pitch. Luigi loves to tease the outside of the strike zone, but Ollie does swing on the 3rd pitch for a foul. Finally swings.
Has been an occasional surprise standout batter.
Yeah, fails to bring in another run off 3rd base as Ollie's hit goes straight to second base player Daisy, who turns the double play and keeps the Revenge silent through 5. K-Rool steps up to start the bottom of the 5th, and it's up to Captain Diddy Kong to find his way past him. A banana ball is a hell of a way to try to do it, and it secures strike 2.
Does he dip into his pocket for a 3rd? Does not, but K-Rool just goes for the slap. Once again, just barely making it to third base. Once again, the King has only gone for a home run shot once in 3 at-bats, and now may find himself cut off. Just barely makes it again. The Brown Critter putting in the effort, trying to put his King away.
Well, Red Yoshi has been a incredibly consistent hitter for the Flowers so far this season. Coming up in the bottom of the 5th, Diddy Kong feeling the pressure, tosses out 2 banana balls. The power block just disrupts the entire field though and allows Red Yoshi to reach first safely, but K-Rool is caught out at second.
And as I was talking about in our previous game, storing the rotten eggs, those banana balls are costing Diddy. Getting tired here. Nehru will get the out on Baby Daisy. Cuts the daisy chain off at its head. Now the Revenge at the bottom of their lineup have to try and make something happen. They are still 6 runs down, 4 innings left to go.
Paratrooper faces down Luigi and gets 2 early strikes on her. But it's hard to see Luigi with Paratrooper crowding the plate so often. You think that she's trying to get struck for a balk. Sorry. Hit by pitch. Still though. Good
slap from Peridot will put her on base. Let's see if Green Drybones can make something of it. Hasn't had the best luck so far, and once again will not. Another double play turned by Green Critter. The slap from Green Drybones just not able to escape. John Wick also not able to make anything happen.
The third out comes quick for the Revenge as they've gone scoreless through 6, and the Flowers are poised to return back to the top of their batting order against a tired Captain Diddy Kong. JC, successful hit out to center field, will secure the first single. Will we see Diddy Kong chased off the mound here? Not yet. He's going to see through the end of the daisy chain. As Captain Daisy steps up to hit against the captain.
Another banana ball catches Daisy swinging. That will be 1 strike. It is a nasty curveball, that one. And then a foul off the second pitch. Daisy is down 0-2 in the count and strikes out swinging on the second banana ball. And Diddy Kong says he's done for that one. Who's coming in? It is Green Magic Koopa, probably the best person they could bring in here.
Green Magic Koopa is a solid closing pitcher. There's a long line of batters for them to get through in order to finish off this game. As Luigi hits a soft slap and Luigi comes up. Green Magic Koopa needs to force something to happen here defensively, as there's a lot of batters after him, and, well, that's exactly what happens. Luigi hits it right to Hammerbow at second base, who wheels it in just slow enough to make sure that there's no hope for the runners to get back in time, and turns the double play to end the inning.
Now it is the pitcher, the new pitcher, who has stepped up to the plate. Green Magic Koopa done okay so far this game, but a long ball like that provokes the buddy jump. They didn't, I'm guessing it was going to bounce off the back wall. Either way, they didn't want to let that happen.
Baby Luigi and Baby Daisy snag that one, secure out number 1 in the inning, and it's Hammerbow up with empty sandbags. Item support from Captain Diddy Kong behind him. And it's a good line drive out to center field for a single. Diddy Kong needs to do it, though, with no support. Star Power will help his batting, and a slap to right field will touch down safely before Red Yoshi's able to get on it. Means we have a run on first, run on second for Brown Critter.
Brown Critter's definitely the kind of batter you do want up here. Staring down Luigi, watches 2 come in, but they are both strikes. Not able to find his mark for a charge hit, is going to go for a slap. Bases loaded now for the Revenge with Nehru on.
You want to see a charge hit from the Jersey player? That's what we see. Line drive out to left field, though, will just be caught by Baby Luigi for out number 2 in this inning. And the hero will have to be Ollie, the center fielder, up now with loaded bases and 2 outs. Slap hit, caught by Critter. That's the third out that clears.
3 are left stranded, and that's something I kind of want to point out for this game. Is that the Revenge, it's not like they're not getting the hits, they just haven't been able to convert them into points. Anytime anything looks good for them, a player steps up and just has not quite the right hit. and it's turned into a double play. It's turned into the last out of the inning, and it just doesn't matter. They are putting in the effort. They're finding the hits. It's not like they're completely unmatched. They just haven't been able to close a single run out.
K-Rool wants one to walk away on Ollie, and Peridot not able to grab that one just in time, meaning that K-Rool's solo bomb will put the Flowers up 7 runs.
And that is the closest I think you could get on a K-Rool shot, so maybe nobody can do it.
It's a very heroic effort from the Revenge, but the Flowers are now up 7 in the bottom of the 7th. Baby Luigi slaps it right to Brown Critter for out number 2.
Green Magic Koopa is already starting to tire on the mound. Good as a closer, but not a 3-inning reliever. They'll have to, or 4-inning reliever. They'll have to see if he can. I almost expected Yoshi to make it off that, I'm not gonna lie.
Red Yoshi is a very, very fast player, but not able to do it there. The Revenge sit down 7 runs with 2 innings left to play. By all means, I mean, defensively, about as well as you could hope to do against the Flowers, who are looking like the team to beat in this postseason. Peridot line drive out to center field will secure a single to start off this inning.
And now, Green Dry Bones was the supposed to be the offensive hero of this team. Just has not been able to make a lot happen, but is finally able to get on base and put Peridot all the way over to third. It's a rough rally, but still not impossible for the Revenge. However, they have to finally be able to cash in this inning. The boo is going to let them avoid a double play, and it's enough to bring Peridot in. Not what you were hoping to see from Mr. Wick, but better than what could have happened there.
Magic Koopa's hit will run foul, barely escaping third baseman JC's glove, but a cyclone pitch from Luigi against Green Magic Koopa sees right through it, pops it out to left field, but Baby Luigi is there to snag it. 2 outs now, Hammerbro up with a runner on second.
It's a charge up, found the ball, it's going high and far. Is it high enough to escape Red Yoshi? It isn't.
That means that we're heading...
Another left stranded. In what could have been such a heroic moment. K-Rool can't be grabbed, but everyone else can.
The Revenge will at least put a run on the board to avoid the shutout in the 8th, and the daisy chain steps up here in the bottom of the 8th. But in their elimination game for the playoffs, the Revenge currently sit 1-7, and Baby Daisy is able to reach first off a single after a fireball assist. Middle of the daisy chain, JC up now against Green Magic Koopa. Slap will go right to Brown Critter, who bobbles it, allowing the runner to tag up safely. So runner on first, runner on second now. End of the daisy chain, Captain Daisy charges up. Contact just goes straight to Hammerbow, who will at least turn the double play. But Baby Daisy is able to reach third. Can Luigi bring the runner home? 2 outs. Contact, but it'll run foul.
Or Green Magic Koopa. Luigi's first hit fouls off. Way off in left field. Strike 2 now, as Luigi watches that one. It's going to be a slap up the center, and that'll be a baby going home. The lead lengthens back to 7 once more.
Green Magic Koopa taken off the mound, and Peridot is brought in from left field.
I never understand bringing Peridot in. Peridot is far from being a good pitcher. There are way better pitchers on the squad, and it breaks up the outfield. it's just bizarre why Peridot would be selected.
Well, the good news is that the odds of it mattering are pretty low. The Revenge sit down 7. Diddy Kong does slap for a single to start off this inning, but they'd have to do the greatest comeback we've ever seen. 7 in the hole with 1 inning to do it. Brown Critter faces down Luigi, who again, the starting pitcher, is continuing to do wonders.
But maybe not so here. It smacks off the back, and Diddy Kong not wanting to run for third means Critter has to run back to first. But it is still 2 on with no outs. Make that 1 on with 2 outs.
Naru hits into a double play. Ollie versus Luigi at the top of the 9th. Can Diddy Kong be the last scoring run? No. Ollie hits it right to Baby Daisy. The game ends, and the Revenge's season will sadly be coming to a close. They have been eliminated from playoff contention after a 1-8 loss versus the Flowers, who secure their spot once again at the top of the scoreboard, meaning that our bye slots for the playoffs are locked in as the Revenge are locked out.
I feel for the Revenge, I really do, Willie. I don't think this should have happened to them. I know it's hard to say that, you know, they had a whole season to make it count. And it felt like game after game after game, they look like stomps, but you look at the Revenge's performance, and they're making base. They've got 2 or 3 people making base. And then they're just left stranded, game after game after game. Balls that just barely don't curve away from infielders. Balls hit to them that find their way right between the outfielders, or where no outfielder could ever reach. It really felt like everything was stacked against them at times. And I think that's what made so many of us Revenge fans. Everyone loves a good underdog story.
You gotta root for it.
I hope... Yeah.
The boss rush at the end, though, proving too much for them as they fall back-to-back to the Rotten Eggs and the Flowers, the 2 teams that will be securing those 2 bye spots, meaning there's only 1 level of ambiguity left in our postseason, which is what exactly will happen to the Scrambled Eggs. 3 teams left for the postseason, of course, those being the Monarchs, the Infernos, and the Scrambled Eggs. And another fate might very well be decided here, as we're going to be heading over to game number 3. Our 3rd game for this Playday being the showdown between the Monarchs and the Monsters. The Monsters with the home field advantage taking us to Wario City. Well, technically, if the Monarchs win this game, they will secure a postseason appearance. However, it is the Monsters on Wario City, which is quite the troublesome place to find yourself versus the Monsters. They opened the season on Wario City against the Flowers, securing an easy 22-9 win, which so far is the most amount of runs that a team has scored in Season 2 of Grand Slam Galaxy.
How did this even happen, Willie? Who let the Monsters go back to Wario City? Why was that not struck in the banning phase?
The Monarchs did. The Monarchs did. They banned the Disruptors, they banned the Bowsers, fearing perhaps what happened to, well, the Revenge just last game, of the Bowsers being an incredible home stage for teams that can hit it over the wall no matter what the distance. And we're gonna head to Wario City as a result. As a reminder for everybody, the Monsters have lost out on a bye slot. That's gone for them. After the Flowers' victory, it is impossible for the Monsters to get a bye in the postseason. At this point, they're playing for seeding, and with a plus 27 run differential, it'll be nearly impossible for the Wilds to hit over them purely on run differential. So the only path for the Monsters to not get 3rd place is if they lose the next 2 games, including this game against the Monarchs. But that would mean that the Monarchs need to win their game over the Monsters on Wario City, which when you've got hitters like Bowser, when you've got a backup hitter like Darkbones, when you've got that incredible middle of the pack that is Bowser Jr. to Darkbones to Bowser, that's going to be a tall order for them, and it'll definitely be well earned. Any last comments before we head into this matchup?
I don't think so, Willie. I think you've covered anything I would have wanted to say.
Sorry. Well,
No, you're good, you're good.
we're going to head into it right now. Our third game for Playday number 13, the Monarchs could make a stand here to enter the playoffs if they're able to overcome the Monsters on home field territory of Wario City. Look, we've made comments before about inconsistent start batters, though, and I would argue that Bowser might very well be at the top of that list. He had a very, very strong start to this season, but has kind of fallen off in the middle to end of it, and that's kind of part of why I would argue the Monsters have been struggling in the last couple of Playdays, dropping out of those 2 bye slots after dominating the top of the scoreboard for the start of the season.
That could be it. And it looks like the Monarchs are going to try and make their mark on this game immediately, but they failed to do so. Koopa and Goomba able to make the jumping catch to prevent Blue Critter's lead-off shot.
So it'll have to be small ball from the Monarchs from here, but against an infield of Bowser Jr. and Bowser that's quite hard to play as, well, Bowser Jr. from shortstop secures the ground out on Nerissa.
Shy Guy charging up here, wants to try and find a longer shot. Maybe it's Wario City kicking in already. It seems like every slap player wants to be a slugger on Wario City because they know it's possible for them finally. But it won't be the case for Blue Shy Guy or anyone in the first 3 Monarchs batters. Monsters shut them down 1, 2, 3.
Goomba against Toadsworth now. That slow ball will forever be funny for me. But BP at shortstop secures the first out against the Monsters. And we kind of expect this slow start from the Monsters. Their first 3 of Goomba to Koopa to Paratrooper are some of their weaker batters. However, if any of them get on, it's just a good shine to come for the middle of their pack.
A long hit from Koopa goes nowhere as it curves foul. Koopa gonna try another charge shot up. This one down the center will touch ground before Toadette can find it. And that will be the single. One of them getting on base as you were talking about. Now it is down to Paratroopa, not to screw it up.
Well,
and Paratroopa is able to avoid that.
Yep, that means we've got a run on first, a run on second heading into the scariest part of the Monsters lineup, and they could jump off to a massive lead here if they, manage to cash in on that promise. Bowser Jr. will be first up to try to do it with a run on first, a runner on second, and a big charge hit that forces a bobble off of Big Oil and loads the bases now for the Monsters. That could have been a game-ending, an inning-ending double play. But no, BP's bobble, that just means that the Monarchs are in an incredible amount of trouble against Darkbones.
Darkbones slaps it high and far. Blue Noki unable to find it. 1 comes in, 2 comes in.
Oh no.
Bowser Jr. comes in as the POW block disrupts and the arrow redirects, and it's an inside the park grand slam on Wario City, Willie.
Oh my god.
I am...
You know...
So remember what I mentioned before? That quote from, Rotten Eggs manager about the Rotten Eggs, and being God's favorite?
Yeah.
Sometimes everything just falls into place for a team, even when it really feels like it shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe, maybe it's Foster's fortune. Maybe God just hates the Monarchs. I think that
If
the
God hated
divine
any
right
team
to...
this season, it was the Revenge, Willie.
Well, the divine right to rule might be being stripped away here as they fall 0-4 in the bottom of the first. 2 strikes against Iwata, 2 outs now. Another love ball from Peach. Found through, but Narissa snags the hit for out number 3. And it's just an inside the park grand slam to start the game. What's the worst that could end?
I think that has to go up there with some of the bobble home runs, Willie, for just sheer weight of fortune or misfortune or whatever you want to call it.
Well, Blue Noki at least starts off well with a good slap out to center field, and BP steps up to face off against Magic Koopa. Consistent hitters for the Monarchs are Ness and BP and Blue Toad, so we could very easily see some loaded bases here. Magic Koopa seems to know
Especially
it.
if Magic Koopa tries to walk
Oh no.
BP. It's a direct hit on Bowser, which actually saves the double play. It might have only just been effectively a fielder's choice if that had landed. Instead, 2 out. The aiming with the power block may be a little bit too good, but now it's time for Wario City to work in the Monarchs' favor. Won't be for an inside-the-park home run, let alone an inside-the-park grand slam this time around. It's just good for a Blue Toad triple. But that does mean there's now a runner in scoring position. If Toadette can come on, there's a good chance Blue Toad comes in, and the Monarchs start trying to claw back in the game already.
With a runner on third, Toadette successfully reaches the outfield and brings in 1 run for the Monarchs. It's not... I'm sorry, I'm still, every single time I think about it, I get hit by the hilarity of the inside the park grand slam again. I'm gonna be laughing for the rest of this game. Though the Monarchs, with a bobbled grand slam in their pocket earlier this season, don't exactly have the right to complain. I don't think that the Monarchs are God's favorite or least favorite, as Toadsworth obviously hits it to Bowser to end that inning. I think that the Monarchs are God's silliest soldiers. And we're just gonna end it at It's just max chaos whenever the Monarchs enter the field. You don't know what's gonna happen, but you know it's gonna be an interesting game. As Blue Drybone steps up for the Monsters and lands, I was gonna say a single, but okay, yes, a single despite the arrow redirection.
You were going to be correct.
Back to the top of the batting order for the Monsters, and Goomba hits it right to Blue Critter, who just turns the double play to get Blue Drybones out. So, empty bases for Koopa, the second player in the Monsters batting order, facing down Peach. I can't wait for next season as players throughout Grand Slam Galaxy have discovered the concept of conditioning, and we'll probably see Peach last a little bit longer on the mound next season. But for now, the question of her stamina will remain a problem for the Monarchs, as she was brought in very early and gets them out of the second with no damage at least.
That indeed she does, and it looks like Bowser, even off the mound, is going to try and repeat that effort, getting the first out of the inning against the Monarchs with a fielding play. Blue Critter trying to repeat the shot from before. The results are same as always. 1 more critter, and I might have to get you checked out by a psychiatrist.
What?
Well, you know, definition of insanity and all that.
I was like, what do you mean if there's 1 more critter, we're gonna have to get a psychiatrist? There's 4 critters in the league already. Oh god, no, there's only 3. I might be seeing Grand Slams where there isn't one, regardless.
No, there are 4. There are 4.
Green critter, red critter, blue critter, brown critter, excuse me.
Brown critter. Yeah, don't forget brown critter.
In my heart of hearts, I was like, is there a yellow critter? But no, that's just the Simpsons. Paratroopa now up will start this inning for the monsters and is caught out by Blue Critter on an excellent dive to get the first out.
You can always expect to see diving plays like that from the critters, Willie. Now, not even gonna have to repeat that. Bowser Jr. just hits it straight to him.
Yeah, it is both rewarding and terrifying when an at-bat is so quick that you don't even get the chance to say the player's name. Bowser Jr. is not one of the players that we expect to be in that position, but when Peach is on the mound, anything is possible, and Dark Bones will at least set up something for his team with a good single there. 2 outs on the board, and Captain Bowser faces down Captain Peach with a 1 runner on. And Captain Bowser goes back to the dugout, and so does the runner. His hit goes right to left fielder Blue Toad, and we have a 1-4 game. Could you imagine the Monarchs winning this game after an inside the park home run in the first inning, an inside the park grand slam? Like, what do you even do after that if you're a Monsters fan?
You'd have to ask a Monsters fan, Willie. Hey, I'm a fan of all of these teams to some degree or another.
Well, the deep slider, Blue Noki, swings into it and swings into a double play, so the Monarchs field will be cleared off as BP steps up. Magic Koopa doing an excellent job as the starting pitcher, lasting through at least the top of the 4th, unless fortunes change quickly, and with a big, deep shot from BP, we don't expect fortunes to change that much. No! Goomba actually tries the buddy play to avoid the POW block, but
it was Koopa that took the POW block hit. That is our second inside the park home run of the game. 1 to each team, though the bases loaded nature of the Grand Slam has made the monsters that much more impactful. Blue Toad gets a slap up the center. Magic Koopa really starting to tire out now. For a starting Magic Koopa, making it 4 innings is pretty good. And a bad grounder by Toadette will spill the end of the inning for the Monarchs. What is this game, Willie?
This game is terrifying. This game is absolutely terrifying. We might see the Monarchs struggle to keep up this defensive prowess as Peach, of course, faces issues with her stamina later in the game, but for right now, as long as she's on the mound, the Monarchs defense is looking pretty unbeatable as Magic Koopa grounds out to Blue Critter at second base. Iwata facing a love ball from the Princess, smacks it right up the middle, but no, Blue Critter once again snags it before it's able to escape the infield, and that's out number 2.
Peach really dipping into the star power here. She doesn't have a lot of stamina to back it up, but it does mean her team gets out of the inning pretty easy.
Okay, well, they're at batter number 8 in the Monarchs lineup. Toadsworth to Princess Toadstool to Blue Critter. And Magic Koopa starting to tire, means we probably will see a pitcher change soon, as a direct hit POW block means that Toadsworth is able to actually reach first base successfully. Rare one to see, but can Princess Toadstool avoid the infield? She has a lot of trouble with that, especially on slaps. Not this time. Bowser Jr. turns to double play. Alright, Blue Critter.
Blue Critter up. Will we see another long bomb attempt? Tries it at a different end of the park this time, and it's good. Just needed to change the angle so you're shooting towards center instead of left, and you will find your mark when it comes to a home run in Wario City.
This is a 1-run.
It is a 1-run game after the first started with a inside the park grand slam. The first pitcher finally steps off for the Monsters now, and is now moved to that second base position as Bowser takes the mound. Narissa runs all the way to second off a good hit that's redirected by the arrows.
Alright, Blue Shy Guy up next, facing down Bowser. The slap will reach the outfield successfully. Nerissa's, thought about running home, but realized that
Probably
the
made
infield
the
would
better
definitely
decision.
make it in time. Alright, runners in the corners, 2 outs now for Blue Noki.
Now, Blue Noki is pretty good friends with both of these players, to my understanding. Might be aiding her attempts here. A bobble by Koopa is going to allow oh no! Blue Noki made the attempt to run to third, decided to run back to second, but didn't make it in time, and that means Blue Shy Guy is unable to give the Monarchs the lead by making it home. What is this game, Willie? You are absolutely right. The Monarchs are God's silliest soldiers.
Oh no, okay, that would only be
Religion is
actually,
like
wait, no, the
emotion,
bananas will interfere with this. Blue Noki not able to pick up Goomba's shot to the outfield, and that's a double for the Goomster to bring up Koopa.
What do you think religion is like in the Mushroom Kingdom, Willie?
Underdeveloped. Goomba runs back to second for some reason. I guess fears that somehow that was going to get picked up by the center fielder, but it touched down short, meaning that we have a runner on first, runner on second for Paratrooper with no outs left. Most of the time I would be praising the monsters for dangerous position making, but Blue Noki, please run. Okay, thank God. Blue Noki does decide to run. The runners have to tag back up to first and second, but there is a runner on first and second for the death section of the monsters, and they could leap back into the lead with just one more inside the park home run. Or a normal home run. We could see that too.
Outside the park one, the one that's far more likely to happen on Wario City.
We've only seen, we've seen 2 inside the park home runs, and we've seen 1 outside the park home run. So far, if you look at this game alone, according to the stats,
if you ignore all context outside of these 5 innings, then, you know.
Bowser Jr. hits it right to Big Oil on shortstop, and the bases are cleared by that double play to end the inning. Sorry, they're not cleared. They were still a runner on first. Still, though, the monsters go scoreless throughout the bottom of the 5th, and it's the Monarchs' turn at the top of the 6th to try to grab a lead.
Just a
Why are
wicked
we
fastball
here?
right over the plate there, and Bowser starts to dip into star power to try and work up the count, or not work up the count, shut down the count against Blue Pianta. It is actually Magic Koopa that will find the out with a hit being fielded with a good jump there. Not able to find Blue Toads, however, and Boo is going to disrupt things long enough to let Blue Toad run to second.
Okay, well, with the runner on second now, the Monarchs have the ability to take the lead on Wario City versus the monsters. If Toadette is able to find some success, she will ground out to Magic Koopa, but Blue Toad advances to third. The leading run, the go-ahead run, is on third base, and it's up to Toadsworth.
This old man sometimes has it, but it seems like Bowser wants to give him nothing. Once again, dipping into that star power to punish the charge attempt from Toadsworth. And with a grounder off that slap over to Bowser Jr., that will be the end of the inning. We remain tied at 4-4, going into the bottom of the 6th.
Well, Dark Bones now versus Peach. Big line drive right up the middle. Just barely stays inside the park and remains just a single. Can Peach find her way past Bowser? She's done a great job against the monsters so far. They haven't scored since she's taken them out. Another line drive! This time, it doesn't even touch the outside wall. Toadette's under it for the first out of the inning. I'm scared. Magic Koopa smacks it. That'll run foul, so that's still just 1 strike now. An outside pitch will catch strike number 2, but an inside pitch on the 3rd one will get knocked foul. We're going to see at least 4.
Protecting the plate here today, Magic Koopa is is finally going to find a...
Oh my god, the pop fly ball landed in the arrow, which meant that Magic Koopa was safe, but the arrow meant that Blue Toad got it so quick that he was able to throw out the runner on second for the second out.
Incredible things are happening tonight
What is
at Wario City.
Should we move Wario City to the Disruptors category?
Geez, that was Iwata, right? Iwata just
Yes.
hit out the... yeah.
Iwata hit it.
Lines out to Narissa at third base. And Peach begins the Monarchs half inning by immediately flying out to, I think, Bowser Jr.
Yes.
Blue Critter goes for another long ball, this time just for a single, as it will touch ground before attempting to exit the park. Tapping down just on the lines painted by the outfield wall. Narissa going for the charge up provokes Bowser into going for a star pitch, doesn't the second time, and Narissa gets a little bit of a taste of her own medicine as she lines out to Dark Bones, who is able to turn a lightning fastball over to his bony brother on first to end the inning with a double play.
Alright, it's a bit of a defensive showcase here, but the Monarchs are definitely on the back foot as their star pitcher, who's not starred, excuse me, is continuing to tire here late in the game. How long can Peach make it? She'll make it through at least one out in the bottom of the seventh, and Goomba will be up next. This is not where her pitching skills are the best used against weak hitters like Goomba, but well, it doesn't really matter when Goomba hits a single like that, and that will chase her off the mound. Toadette brought in from the outfield, center field position. Does that mean there's no synergy in the right field anymore? I don't think Noki and Peach have synergy.
Noki and Peach do not have synergy, Willie.
Oh no, they do. Wow, that's
they
really
do?
funny.
Oh, I could have sworn they didn't.
Oh,
Well,
no,
my
I'm
mistake.
sorry. Sorry, no, they don't have synergy. It's just that Peach has synergy with Toadette, and Toadette has synergy with Noki, and the line that connects those is almost a flat line. Regardless, an arrow shot down the middle. Blue Noki needs to scramble for it, and Paratroopa's hit will result in a triple that drives in 2 runs and put the Monsters back into the lead in this game.
Once again, we see the weakest part of a lineup making something happen in the game, right when the team needs them to. It was the Wilds that had Dixie and Tiny show up in our first game of the day, and now it is the Goomba Koopa Paratroopa, part of the Monsters lineup, able to make something occur. There just has not been good team play by the Monarchs outfield this game.
Well, they've been having just as much trouble as you could argue the Monsters do. However, it's the Monsters' power that's finally coming to bear. Bowser Jr. finally getting a hit that he's needed. That triple from Paratroopa also helping, tiring out Toadette very quickly on the mound. A star hit from Dark Bones, and the death lineup from the Monsters is finally following its name. After Bowser Jr. bats in 2 runs of his own, Dark Bones bats in Bowser Jr., and just like that, the Monsters are now up 4 as Toadette is swapping out versus Bowser. And Blue Toad will be brought in.
That at least maintains synergy in the left field. Not that it will matter on a Bowser shot like that. We're not even gonna get the camera for that buddy jump attempt. It was gone before Toadette had gotten very high in the air at all.
There she is. Yeah, the Monsters remembered, wait a second, it's Wario City. Just hit the ball. And just like that, we go from a tied 4-4 game to the Monsters up by 6 with only 2 innings left to play for the Monarchs. We'll see exactly what Magic Koopa is able to do, and Magic Koopa is able to keep this slugging contest going with a good single out to center right field. Iwata now, batter number 8 in the Monsters lineup. still keeping us going. What batter did we even start on in this inning? Was it Goomba?
I think it was Goomba, Willie. I think it was Goomba.
Alright, well now, runners on the corners, only 1 out, and the Monarchs defense, well, Peach steps off the mound and it collapses. 4-10, 4-11 now as Blue Drybone single brings in the runner from third base, and we're back to Goomba. The Monsters successfully rounded out their entire batting order, and we go back to the top. After a bobble from Blue Critter, we'll let another run be brought in. Now the Monsters are up by 8. Well,
And what had been a very close game looks like it's falling apart for the Monarchs in the 7th. A double play will stop the bleeding, but that was 8 runs in 1 inning. And now the Monarchs, having only scored 4 across the first 7, which, to be fair, the Monsters had gone scoreless for 5 after scoring 4 in the first. They're gonna have to try and repeat some of the Monsters' magic themselves without half the hitting power.
and the Monsters have a very deep pitching rotation. Magic Grip is a fine enough starter, but Bowser hasn't even started to tire, and he's still got Bowser Jr. behind him to close out this game.
And
At the top
Goomba behind him for the long haul closing. 2
I forget
outs
that Goomba
right
is a pitcher.
away. Huh?
I just forget that Goomba is a pitcher.
2 outs right away is going to make that difficult for the Monarchs. It's gotta start with something from BP, but never mind. 3 outs. 3 outs remain between the Monarchs and absolute defeat. And in the meantime, the Monsters get to try and pile that lead higher and higher.
The Monsters' victory here, I think, unless they somehow lose by the greatest margin that we've ever seen in Playday number 14, which I would be kind of surprised to see happen, means they should secure 3rd place in the league heading out of this regular season. So, top seeding for them at least. That does mean, by the way, referencing something earlier, that the Hot Eggs and the Wilds will see each other before the finals. Just wanted to close that loop real quick. Darkbone's up now, slaps it right to Big Oil at the 3rd out, and the Monsters' offense will stop at 12, probably for now, unless, of course, the Monarchs are able to pull off something silly in the 9th inning, which, considering the tone of the rest of this game, is always possible. But
You know, at this point, Willie, I would be shocked, but like less shocked than normal, if we saw 2 more inside the park grand slams by the Monarchs to end this game off and send us into extra innings. Why not? With everything else that's happened.
I think I would retire. I think I would be like, there's no more Grand Slam Galaxy. It's like that scene in Pulp Fiction. I just see the miracle that's happened before me, and I'm just like, actually, no, I'm good. I'm gone.
Well, first, it starts off with a Blue Toad single, moving all the way to first, and a missed jump by Bowser Jr. with an arrow redirect. Blue Toad's looking to go home, and Toadette all the way to 3rd, a field-assisted triple, will start the Monarchs inning off. 1 run in, at least 7 to go if they want this game to continue.
No. No. All right, Toadsworth up now with a runner on 3rd, 2 outs, no outs against the team, and
Laser
a
shot
with
a boo is going to allow him to get to 2nd. Toadette comes in, 2 runs in, 6 more to go.
Okay. Well, still no outs, but Princess Toadstool, Captain Peach, has not been very successful in the batter's box this game as she knocks a single straight up the middle. Still no outs as the Monarchs return back to the top of their batting order, and Blue Critter comes up against Bowser. Weak contact, though, sends it straight to Magic Koopa. Up.
No, the bomb comes out in time. A rare bomb meaning anything as Peach just slides, rolls out of its path.
Okay.
This is gonna be a double play. It's not over yet, but that does hurt the Monarchs a lot.
Yeah. No, Okay, good job, Blue Shy Guy. I applaud your dedication. One shot from Bowser. The second star hit from Blue Shy Guy will bring home contact. Toadsworth will come in and be the third run for this inning. So,
surprised Bowser didn't just lock it up there. 3-star pitches in a row, and that was game.
Maybe he's
now
not feeling it.
Starting to tire and will step off. We will see a pitcher change in the 9th as the Monsters begin to fear that they will lose the remaining 5 runs of their lead and bring in a fresh pitcher to bat against Blue Noki.
Yeah, no. Blue Noki slaps it. Magic Koopa reels it in, and despite the Bomb disruption earlier, is able to close out this one. The Monsters secure the game after, I will admit, a scarier 9th inning than one could expect to win it 7-12 against the Monarchs on Wario City. Okay, I mean, it's the result we kind of expected, but a lot scarier than we expected it to be. All the way up until the end for the Monsters, but they will pull it out against the Monarchs. With MVP honors going to Dark Bones for an inside the park home run that's hard to argue with. Silver Lily? Oh, hello.
Apologies, Billy. I am back once more.
Okay. Well, the Monarchs secure that one against the Monsters. I mean, the Monarchs definitely made it a lot closer than we could have expected on Wario City, though whether that was due to Monarchs' defensive brilliance or Monsters struggling. Actually, I'm going to give this one to the Monarchs unironically. Peach really comes through as a pitcher as long as she's allowed to stay on that mound, and she might not last the entire game, but when you're pitching fastballs that well for that long and keeping the Monsters of all teams quiet on Wario City, that is an impossible task for any pitcher, and just shows off how strong she is in this league.
It really does, Willie. It really does. She is a very strong player. Sorry, I guess I just don't have much more to add than that. I started saying something like I had a thought.
Well, is there anything that you want to talk about for the Monsters and how this game might shape your outlook on their incoming postseason run?
The Monsters have looked strong all season, Willie. They've dropped some weird games. They've dropped some games that maybe people weren't expecting them to. Most recently, I believe, to the Infernos? But they still have looked like a top 3 team all season, and right here they look to secure that. You say that they have, I would need to check the standings myself. Not that I disbelieve you, I just thought it was a little bit closer. So I'm wondering where I went wrong on that.
The Monsters right now are standing at an 8-5 record. Their last loss was in Playday number 11 when they fell to the Infernos, yes, on Daisy Cruiser. Another small ball park that we thought the Monsters would dominate on, but maybe this will be a weakness for them in the postseason. Regardless, for right now, the Monarchs are not able to secure their playoff spot, and their eyes will turn to this last game, where it might be secured for them. We're heading to Bowser Jr.'s Playroom, and we're heading to the Scrambled Eggs versus the Infernos. What's up?
The sheet won't load for me right now. I have to ask this for a very dumb hypothetical. What is the Monsters' run differential?
The Monsters' run differential is plus 32. The Wild's run differential is minus 9. In order for the Wilds to take third place...
41.
Yep.
if the Monsters lose and the Wilds win by a number of runs equaling 41, they could technically get third seed.
The Monsters could
technically get third seed.
Let's review what you just said, though. The Monsters could lose by 20, the Wilds could win by 20, and that would still be 1 run away from them actually swapping places on the scoreboard. We're gonna head now to
Donkey Kong, okay?
We could have, despite this league being so much more competitive than Season 1, the playoffs could be iced before Playday 14, unlike Season 1, as we're going to head towards our last game of Playday number 13. Silver Lily, as we head into this one, and I'll just go ahead and post a picture of the standings straight to you. Can you set up the stakes for this game of the Scrambled Eggs playing against the Infernos?
Well, 2 quick stakes right away. The Infernos want to lock in their playoff berth. They haven't managed to do so yet, because while the Revenge lost, the Scrambled Eggs could still technically fight their way into the postseason. And while the Scrambled Eggs would need to win both and have one of the Monarchs and the Infernos lose both, it's still danger time for the Infernos if they lose here, because they either would need to win against the Monarchs in their game on the next Playday, or have the Scrambled Eggs lose their last game. And you never want to be in a situation where your playoff berth is in another team's hands. You never want to be in that situation.
Now, it won't be... Oh, go ahead.
And then I already set the stakes for the Scrambled Eggs. They are the current 7th seed. If they lose at all, they are eliminated. If the Infernos win today and the Monarchs win tomorrow, they are eliminated. The Scrambled Eggs do not have destiny in their hands, but they can still find a way to drop it.
It's possible for us to come down, for the postseason to come down to Playday 14 like it did in Season 1. But in order for that to happen, the Scrambled Eggs need to beat the Infernos as the away team, and the Infernos have chosen Junior's Playroom as their home base yet again.
Something I forgot to mention is that if the Infernos win this game, the Monarchs clinch as well, because that will knock the Monarchs' only remaining competition, the Scrambled Eggs, out of contention.
Yep, we could see the playoffs iced on an Infernos win on Junior's Playroom. They had a lot of struggles versus the Wilds on it last Playday, but they scored 11 runs, which is pretty good on Junior's Playroom, and the Wilds were bolstered by a late season Donkey Kong getting off his ass and actually hitting home runs. So, we'll have to see. The Scrambled Eggs have to take this moment now to make a last stand on their finale. Will Junior's Playroom be the graveyard of the league as the Revenge and the Scrambled Eggs both fall on it? Or is the comeback real, and can the Scrambled Eggs squeak their way into a postseason appearance? Well, the only way for that to be possible is a win for them here, and we're going to find out whether or not they're able to do that as we head to Junior's Playroom. It's exhausting, isn't it? Casting again.
Yep. I'm still getting back into the swing of it.
Oh,
Got
no.
a fortunate window today.
Well, King Boo will start off the Scrambled Eggs batting for Junior's Playroom. And, well, knock it right to Red Noki, who scrambles for the early out. We expect more defensive showcase from Junior's Playroom. We've espoused that many, many times before in this league. And this will have to be the opportunity for both teams to take advantage of that. The Infernos are the epitome of small ball in this league, with no real home run threats of their own, but excellent consistent hitters throughout their roster. And the Scrambled Eggs, while they do have some home run potential with PD Brana, with King Boo, they could take advantage of those high walls to turn what would be caught home runs into line drives and secure some easy runs of their own. Or those players could come through and knock those balls out of the park in a way that the Infernos are unable to. In any case, for right now,
here, but Buddy does not turn around to try and throw to second, even though that would have been an out. Guess didn't feel confident on making it there in time and wanted to have his eyes on home in case Wiggler tried to make the run. Bases loaded now has put the Infernos in a tough situation, but despite the bobble by Buddy, Strawberry is actually still able to turn the out at first, and only one will come in off that hit.
Blooper's hit caught by Heathcliff at shortstop means that the Scrambled Eggs only get one off of a very scary first inning for any Infernos fans. But it's a good start for the Scrambled Eggs. I mean, the mark that the Infernos set last Playday on this stadium was 11. That's quite a high watermark to hit on any stadium, let alone Junior's Playroom. We'll see if the Infernos are able to match it themselves, starting off with Otis.
I have a little bit of insight, and I'm a little sad that I wasn't able to bring that to the last Playday on why the Infernos have gone to Bowser Jr.'s back-to-back, and it's because not only of its ability to shut down home runs, but also because of the way the hazards on this stage work. The hazards on this stage are activated by small ball. They're activated by ground balls that head to the right part of the stage. The Inferno's management believes that if they play it right, they might be one of the best
Hang on.
at
Okay.
making those marks, but maybe not if Star Slapper Drybones goes for the high shot.
That was a lot closer than I would like to admit. I mean, and I guess at some part it wasn't that close, but that exposes Magic Koopa, a slow outfielder, barely able to scramble in position for that. But, I mean, credit to the Scrambled Eggs. As Strawberry knocks it right to PD Piranha for the third out of the inning. We've seen Yellow Magic Koopa and Cookie just dawdle into position for caught home runs before because they've got the experience to know, yeah, they can make it. Don't worry about it.
It's probably the scariest batter that the Scrambled Eggs have. PD Piranha has now stepped up to bat, and it is another single. So far, the Scrambled Eggs have had much more success than the Infernos at finding base, but it's not uncommon for the Infernos to need an inning or two for their bats to warm up.
Well, with a runner on first, a runner on second, the Scrambled Eggs are doing well in the second, with Captain Yoshi setting up as batter number 9. Pretty fair spot, as he's going to go for a bunt with no item support. That's a risky play. I mean, it's a guaranteed out at first, but it does advance the runners to second and third, so I support the team play from the captain. Very unselfish baseball.
And now starting batter King Boo started the game off with a line drive right up the center that turned into an out. And here, the double play made off of the fireball fired by the Scrambled Eggs themselves as Heathcliff turns it to Boo to get the out at first, the force out at first, and Boo sends it back to Buddy, who runs for the tag out on, And now Red Noki, looking to start things off for the Infernos batting this inning, sends one up the center for one base. It's just a single, but it brings Star, current stand-in Captain Mario, official stand-in Captain Mario, to bat. His line drive up the first base line is caught by Blooper, but it shoves Blooper off the base, and fire support gives Red Noki enough time to run back to first, and then a direct hit pow block stops Captain Dante's weak grounder from becoming a double play and instead turns it into a single. Buddy, instead, is the one that hits it out to shortstop PD Piranha and ends the inning. The Eggs still able to get out of that scramble. Well, intact. They are the Scrambled Eggs after all.
Wiggler will start off the scrambled eggs for the third, and a very calming hit, just a single straight up the middle to give us a little bit of stability here and bring up Cookie. Line
Cookie
drive.
is going for a line drive out to left field, but Captain Dante is in place in time and is able to turn that one back to the infield, scare Wiggler back towards first, and another right place, right time for Captain Dante as Yellow Magic Koopa also hits it out there.
Bouncer comes up for the scrambled eggs now. Wiggler started off this inning well with a single, but the rest of the batters are having trouble. Big, deep hit. Dante and Red Noki are there, though. They make the buddy jump, they make the play, and they end the inning. Scrambled eggs. Wiggler gets on, and the next three batters just hit it to the outfield directly twice, and then a buddy jump for the third to end their chances this inning.
A little more similar to the first Infernos at-bat, and now it is up to those Infernos to try and make theirs look a little bit more like the first Scrambled Eggs at-bat.
Batter number 9, Boo, will start them off here, facing down his Sovereign, but
it's long and high and is almost certainly out unless the fire gets thrown in time. It is not. With nobody on, the fire disruption matters not at all, even as it finds its mark. It is now leadoff batter Otis, who had a pretty good performance in the previous game, and a bobble by Petey Piranha that allows her to reach base in tandem with the Bananas.
yeah, the bobble had to happen to give enough time for the Bananas to stun out PD Piranha, but yeah, no, Heathcliff hits it up the first baseline. Blooper jumps and lands on the bag for a double play to end the Infernos through the third. And, well, through the first third of this game,
And hovers over her.
we've seen... Yeah, how do you tell who tags up against the bag first? The umpires are very skilled. Regardless, only one run through the first third of this game. Only one runner has managed to even reach home. I believe that was Wiggler for the scrambled eggs?
I don't remember at this point, Willie.
Regard-
What may spell the way this game goes is the pitching. Otis is still staying strong, but King Boo was starting to tire near the end there. A good hit by Petey Piranha might also be the spell, the harbinger here. I had to find the right word, as there are no outs and now runners on the corners for the scrambled eggs.
They could very easily bring in run number 2. They've got a lot of opportunities to do it. Oh, does hit into a double play.
Round out
Blooper does...
into double play that brings the runner in. I think... Yeah, Mario's still catcher, so Heathcliff probably could not have got
Oh my god.
Red Noki, where are you going?
Well, the inning was over off of Captain Yoshi's pop fly out, but instead King Boo will be the sacrificial lamb, grounding out to Buddy at second base after another bobble. Cursed day today, aren't we? From Captain Dante, allows Captain Yoshi to safely tag up on the bags. Regardless, the big marquee thing there, even though it was a hit into a double play on such a low-scoring game, allowing the runner to safely touch up at home and allowing the scrambled eggs to go to a 2-0 lead might just be enough for them. We'll see how the rest of this game progresses as King Boo continues to tire. The first Infernos hitter did get tagged out, and Strawberry's up to the plate now.
The POW block not going to be enough to save Strawberry, as those Pianta legs just are not fast enough. But King Boo decides with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th, that's enough pitching from the King today. And it's Red Noki that now has to face the fresh pitcher of Captain Yoshi. We do see a diving play by Petey Piranha, but does not feel confident in his arm to throw to first before Red Noki gets there. Star player stand-in Captain Mario stepping up.
2 outs, but Yellow Magic Koopa is able to fire the ball to the infield before the green shell disrupts him. So, run on first, run on second, and 2 outs for Captain Dante. PD Purana, though, snags the slap intended for the outfield and successfully shuts down that inning. The Infernos will go quiet through 4.
Now, surveys have shown a decent amount of overlap between Inferno fans and Revenge fans. Do you think they're feeling similarly right now?
I mean,
watching how this game is going, I am getting shades of the other game, maybe not so much of a blowout, but the other game that was played on Bowser Jr.'s earlier today, where one team is able to make base and make it home, and the other makes base and then gets stranded.
it can be a struggle. Still, though, the chain chomp, not meaning anything. Cookie slap will be a single for run on first, run on second. It can be a struggle for teams to get to third base. It sometimes not only is just making it to third base, but it's making it to third base with outs to spare so that runners can still make mistakes. The infielder won't make a mistake there as Heathcliff turns the double play and sends us from no outs, runner on first, runner on second, to 2 outs, runner on third. So despite the Scrambled Eggs reaching third, one mistake will mean the end for it. Bouncers pop to right field. Strawberry's able to get under that. And that's a quiet inning from the Scrambled Eggs.
Good discipline there from Heathcliff, saves the Inferno's inning for them. We've seen a lot of fielders panic in the face of those bananas, but Heathcliff stays strong, picks up the ground ball, and turns the double play.
Buddy's slap.
It'll be a good slap from Buddy to start off the Inferno's bottom of the 5th. As Boo follows up. Watches one to strike from Captain Yoshi. Swings at the second, sends it curving to the right. Spot the bullet bill will not matter there. But it is now 2 on, no outs. Otis up. Hit is caught by a diving instant double play. Boo cannot make it back to first for the triple.
Incredible infield work by PD Purana. I'd call them fast on their feet, but they don't have any. So still, the Infernos are kept quiet through 5. This is still an incredibly tight game. Only 2 runs on the board for the Scrambled Eggs, and chances definitely being generated for the Infernos. This might be a nail-biter all the way to the 9th, pending a big hit here. Blooper, though. Amazing shot to center right field. Will be good for a single. Considers running for the double, but realizes there's no interference on those outfielders and keeps it at 1 base. Peter Purana knocks it all the way to center right field. This one's high and deep. Noki and Pianta are there in time, though. And with the tip of her glove, Red Noki snags it. And a heroic play to double the Scrambled Eggs lead. Stopped at the last moment by this Inferno's outfield. Two O.
Stepping up to the plate now. It's up to her to see if she can keep this inning going. Heathcliff misses the jump, but a little bit of hesitance from Blooper. Thought that Heathcliff had it and was too late to start running, so when Captain Dante turns it to second baseman Buddy, that means Blooper's out at second, and it's still just a runner on first for the Scrambled Eggs. Captain Yoshi's able to make it a runner on first and second, just in time for Boo to step up. And line out right to... ends this inning how he began the first.
Okay, the Scrambled Eggs now with several chances in that inning to explode their lead, but the Inferno's defense just barely hangs on. It's the Inferno's offense, though, that needs to start making waves. Heathcliff says, well, I can do that first. And a shot out to center left that barely evades shortstop PD Purana will be a start for it. Dry Bones looking like they want to bunt to advance the
not
runner.
A runner and has no item support. That's gonna be an out to advance a bunt out to advance the runner. But Dry Bones, you could have just hit it. We know you're a good slapper, dude. It's like watching a Pianta bunt.
Well, when you said that, and I have expected Strawberry to bunt it.
I was prepared for
Heathcliff.
it. Heathcliff, make a decision. Wrong decision.
Base running airs from Heathcliff as he isn't sure who's going to have the ball, whether the ball is going to be caught, or what even's going to happen. Another bobble from PD Piranha, but it doesn't matter as it bobbles off of PD Piranha, and despite the boo, is still caught by Wiggler before it touches the ground for out number 3. The Infernos kept quiet now through 6, and we're heading through the 7th. As the circus music in the background of Junior's Playroom will continue until morale improves. Wiggler's shot, though, at the start of the 7th, just brought in by Buddy's magnetic glove for out number 1.
Otis now starting to tire in the 7th, and we may see the Inferno's first pitcher swap, but Buddy is determined to keep her on there as long as possible. Making a couple of good heroic outs to keep the scrambled eggs from making base, and this may be the only advantage that the Infernos have in this game. They haven't had to swap pitchers yet. It's not a lot when you're at a 2-run deficit, but they haven't had to swap pitchers yet. Will it happen now? It will happen after the Magikoopa single. And Mario, the mid-season trade, the just absolute, possibly most important player on the team at this point, steps up to replace Otis here in the top of the 7th. Is able to get bad contact off of Blooper to shut down the inning after letting a second one on, and we head into the bottom of the 7th. Nobody has scored since the 4th.
That was only 1 run dragged in. Junior's Playroom lives up to its defensive name, but Mario, after taking a hero stand on the pitcher's mound, will try to do a stand at the batter's box, getting a single for his team to start off this inning. Captain Dante now faces down Yoshi to see if he can keep that magic going.
Wants to find a charge hit, but watches the first one. Finds the second. The pow block may just result in an out at second instead of a double play, but it's better than it could have been. If you're an Infernos fan.
Buddy.
Strike 1 on Buddy. This is another good slap player. Wants to find it, does find it, sends it towards right field, sets Cookie on fire, but Cookie fields the ball away fast enough to make that not matter much. Boo up now. One friend on base, and also Captain Dante is there. I hear they get along like okay, but not like swimmingly. Probably a little worse after that.
Yeah. Boo hits it to Wiggler, who actually manages to make a diving catch. And secures the 3rd out off a double play with PD Piranha. The Infernos go quiet through 7, and the Scrambled Eggs currently lead our lowest scoring game of all time. PD Piranha says, I'd like a little bit of a better cushion though. Knocks one out to right field. Not running on those small legs though, keeps it a single. Will hit it right to the shortstop, and Heathcliff and Buddy turn the double play with thanks of Boo catching it at first base to secure 2 outs now against the Scrambled Eggs. And the 3rd out comes off of Buddy's glove, catching Yoshi's slap.
Buddy participated in all 3 outs there, being the receptacle for the 1st, the thrower on the 2nd, and the catcher on the 3rd. An excellent defensive performance other than an earlier bobble by Buddy.
Well, the Infernos now, Otis up, will hit a single as the starting batter for the lineup and the starting batter for the bottom of the 9th. Heathcliff will have to follow her. What can he do against Captain Yoshi? Yoshi making sure that Otis isn't too comfortable on first base, but Heathcliff sends the shell to center to second regardless. The green shell does successfully break up the double play, but Otis still successfully tags up on second and brings Dry Bones to the batter's box.
The Infernos have been pretty good with their items this game, not to make anything happen, just to avert disaster. what we are seeing here is Drybones actually just try and slap it for once. It's surprising how well that player can perform when it actually does the thing it's good at.
Alright, well, calm the salt down as we got a runner on the corners and Strawberry up. One
Hey, I'm allowed
out.
to be the color commentary today.
One out does mean that a double play could end this, but Strawberry says no. Bats it to the outfield, successfully tags up on first, and the Infernos finally score their first run in the 8th inning. We have a 2-1 game. Runner on first and second, though, and only one out means that the Infernos have a lot more chances to score and eliminate the Scrambled Eggs from playoff contention if this game keeps going like this. One out.
A rough spot lineup, but we have seen Noki get good hits before. I think they're just hoping for anything other than a inning-ending double play, and they won't find it. They will avoid an inning-ending double play as Drybones makes this intelligent decision to run back to second after the POW block broke up everything that was happening around second. Mario able to load the bases now with 2 outs. And it is Captain Dante up to the captain, who has had excellent defensive performances, but only occasionally shown himself off in the batting box. It is up to him to tie up the game. He does not, which was about expected.
Wiggler successfully makes the catch and turns us to the 9th. The Infernos, if they want this, will have to make a last stand at the last possible moment. The Scrambled Eggs, of course, returning back to the top of their batting order and for the top of the 9th, could see their season matter just a little bit longer. Boo, with a good shot out to right field, will secure a single to start it. So that's a good lifeline for the Scrambled Eggs with the one runner on, and Mr. Consistency up at the batter's box. Shot escapes the infield, and a little bit of changeup interference means King Boo is able to run all the way to third. Scrambled Eggs in very good position here with no outs and runners on the corners.
The Infernos, given their batting woes in this game, have to try and shut this down now. Heathcliff does not go for the dive, and King Boo runs in. The lead lengthens back up to 2.
And with only one out on the field and a runner on first and second, it's very possible. Sorry, no outs and a runner on first and second. It's very possible for the Scrambled Eggs to cash in the 9th. If Yellow Magic Koopa can find a way past a fireball from Mario, that's strike 2.
If you're the Infernos, I don't think you even I mean, a strikeout here is good, and Mario will dip into the star power for it. But they're gonna need more than one out to get out of this tough situation. Bouncer up now with 2 friends on base is a significant batting threat, and that is a long shot. Chain Chomp is going to break up the buddy throw long enough to give Wiggler time to run home, and runners are on the corners once again as the lead takes it to, or extends to 3 for the first time this game.
Blooper facing down Mario. Scrambled Eggs remain up 4-1. If Blooper, of course, gets on base, that only brings up PD Piranha. Hit does evade the infield off that left field shot. The
Stopped diving. He's just stopped diving for balls. I think because Drybones tried to dive for it.
Yeah, I mean, that angle between first and shortstop and the mirrored angle between first and second base is an absolute killer for the infield. Just as much of a killer for center field, we just see it less because, hey, it's harder to aim for. A double play off PD Piranha's weak hit will finally end this inning. But now the Infernos are down 4. The Scrambled Eggs.
This team has had explosive innings before. In their last game here, it was looking rough. A bobble by Bouncer. I thought for certain that was out. A bobble by Bouncer is going to let Buddy run all the way to third to start this inning off. As I was saying, in their last game here, they managed to score 6 in the bottom of 8 against the Wilds in order to keep the game competitive. They have to make a similar performance now. It is do or die The theory comes into practice as that ball activates the chain chomp, disrupting the play long enough for Buddy to make the decision to run home. Boo on second off that long double. And now, backup pitcher Captain Yoshi beginning to tire. Otis hits one up the center. The Boo is used. It's rolling. It has hit the bullet bill. It will not impact the play, but it has given Boo enough time to make it home. This is going exactly the way the Infernos need it to so far.
Scrambled Eggs fans clinching onto the end of their seat as their season hangs in the balance of one last pitcher change. Yellow Magic Koopa brought in means there's no chemistry in the outfield anymore, but as good a closer as you could probably hope for. Heathcliff's weak hit, but Wiggler just misses Petey Piranha, and it's a runner on first.
Error by Wiggler. And suddenly the clown music plays for the other side of the park. As error after error by the Scrambled Eggs has allowed the Infernos to bring in two and load the bases.
Strawberry now
Strawberry up now. 2 in ties the game. 1 in or 3 in ends it. Winning runs on base. It's a slap up the center. That'll be 1. It'll only be 1. And no outs as Yoshi makes the decision to try and cut off Otis at home, giving Strawberry all the time he needs to run to first.
Loaded bases, no outs, a tired third string pitcher, and Red Noki in home at the batter's box.
If you're Scrambled Eggs, this is the batter you are happiest to see right now. If any batter is going to turn this into a triple play, game-saving triple play, it will be Red Noki. But if any batter could surprise you, it could be Red Noki. A charge attempt is not used. It looks like it's going to be a slap attempt. It goes past Petey Piranha with the Boo. Dry Bones is running home. Gets out. The game's not over yet. Red Noki makes it on the single, and Dry Bones is thrown out with some good fielding and not good enough base running. That will be the end of Yellow Magic Koopa's time, and Blooper takes the plate. Yellow Magic Koopa is sent over to first base. Star player Mario, stand-in official captain, stepping up, charging up, hitting to the back of the stadium, but it's Red Pianta that's the frontmost runner. Strawberry does not have the legs to go home off that hit. It'll just be loaded bases again.
Captain Dante now loaded bases. Swings off of one strike. 1 out now. A pop to center field. Yoshi fields it. Strawberry didn't feel confident enough to run home and gets tagged out.
The cloud music is sitting firmly in the center of the park.
Loaded bases
it's really anybody's music at this point.
Loaded bases for Buddy with 2 outs against the team. Contact goes to center field. Yoshi can field it, but without touching the ground, the game is over. And the Infernos eliminate the Scrambled Eggs from the playoff in a wild inning number 9. Our playoff settings are fully set up, and Junior's Playroom is the crush point for 2 teams tonight. The Scrambled Eggs and the Revenge, both in those elimination games, fall out of the season in 1, and your 6 for the playoffs are decided. Oh my god. With a 9th inning comeback, the Infernos just mark their way into the playoffs. Buddy given MVP honors, and after being held off for so long, the small ball game comes in clutch in the 9th inning for an absolute nail-biter of a finish.
it was my call that it was still possible for the Infernos to win. It was my call that they've shown us something like that before. And there were 5 times in that inning where I was so ready to call the game over. Twice in favor of the Scrambled Eggs, 3 times in favor of the Infernos. It finally ends after a circus of dropped balls and lucky bounces and small ball.
I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that that defensive inning started with a bobble for the Scrambled Eggs. A bobble that if they had caught, they would have at least gone to overtime.
Yeah, no, the Infernos need to be happy with this win, but they need to realize how close it was to going the other way. The Scrambled Eggs, one non-bobble, won this game.
It's only kind of fitting as well, poetic even, that the Scrambled Eggs are eliminated from the season after losing by 1 run. After being the 1-run team, the nail-biting team throughout the first couple of Playdays, on Playday number 13 is when that finally comes through against them, and they fall to the Infernos on an incredible barn burner on Junior's Playroom.
It's a poem, Willie, but it's a tragic one.
It's a rhyme that the Scrambled Eggs have heard many times this season, and ultimately, unfortunately for them, it is the decider at the end of it. We will have a 14th Playday, but that one will just be essentially for... Actually, no. Looking at it, it's basically... There's only 2 teams that can swap around in the seeding, and it's the first and second team. Everything else is set pretty far in stone. Let me show you the updated standings heading out of this one. As the Flowers reclaim the top of the league at a 10-3 scoreboard with a plus 40 run differential, the Lawn Eggs falling to the Wilds will mean that they sit in second right now. And then for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, your playoff contenders, the Monsters, currently sit at 8 and 5. It'll be next to impossible for them to lose that slot. The Wilds sit at 7 and 6. It will be impossible for them, not technically impossible for them actually to lose that slot.
No, if they lose and the Infernos win, the Infernos can take it over them.
Yeah, which just means no matter what, it's just is which team gets home field advantage starting off in the playoffs, because they can only swap with each other, and the 4th and 5th seeds start the playoffs against each other. So no matter what, the Wilds and the Infernos will be facing each other down in the quarterfinals. Unless, of course, the Monarchs, the 6th seed right now, come up big against the Infernos and somehow score a 20-run win in that series.
It would take them 15 to tie it, for the record, Willie. And then, if they did manage to win by 15, then the head-to-head also goes to them.
Sure, but, you know, I mean...
It's a pretty significant gap.
It's all but sealed, as the Scrambled Eggs and Revenge mathematically are eliminated, neither of them able to make the hero run at the end and falling to our 7th and 8th slots. They can still battle next week to try to get a 4-win season. Possible for both of them. The Scrambled Eggs will be on the home team versus the Wilds, and the Revenge will be on the home team against the Monsters, so we'll see how they're able to clean up this season. But our last Playday will not be for a playoff spot, it will just be for standings positions, as our playoff picture starts to come further and further into focus. The big storylines, of course, heading into next Playday. The Lawn Eggs and the Flowers, though not playing against each other. Actually, no, the Lawn Eggs and the Flowers are playing against each other, which is very funny, because the winner of that will almost certainly stand in the first seed for the regular...
Not.
Sorry?
It's impossible for the winner of that to not.
I mean, Oh, yeah, no, you're so right. I was looking at run differential. So, the winner of the Ron Eggs and Flowers game will end their season 11-3, an incredible accomplishment, and stand atop the scoreboard. The loser will still go to second. The Monsters have basically all but locked up the third seed. Their game, regardless, will be against the Revenge. The Revenge have one last chance to get up to a 4-win record in this season. The Wilds currently sit in fourth. It's possible for them to slip down to fifth pending the day. In order to secure their spot in fourth, of course, they will need a win against the Scrambled Eggs in seventh, who also will look to see if they can get a 4-run season for Grand Slam Galaxy. In our last game of the day, the Infernos and the Monarchs, that 5th and 6th position. The Monarchs are all but locked into 6th seed, but could very well play spoiler and stop the Infernos from climbing up the ladder a little bit. Regardless, no matter what, our quarterfinals are all but locked in, pending incredible results. We will see the Wilds versus the Infernos, and we will see the Monsters versus the Monarchs. We'll see exactly what happens on Playday 14, of course, to end that seeding. Any last storylines or little nuggets of fun you want to pick up before we close out Playday number 13?
I am tired and need to get moving on the rest of my night, Willie, so I don't think I do. I am very happy to be back casting again, though.
Welcome back. Of course, Playday number 14 for Grand Slam Galaxy Season 2 will be happening not this Saturday. It will be happening next Tuesday, the 21st of October. I will see you all there. I have been your commissioner, Willie or won't he. Thank you again to my co-caster, Silva Lily. And until Playday number 14, play ball, everyone.
Good night, everybody.